Alright, we're back. I was about to sneeze as I was signing off the last video. If you were wondering why my voice got a little clipped there at the end. So last time we got Alphino back, although he's afflicted by the same thing that Y'shtola, Urianger, and Thancred are. And we met Gaius. He's still alive, hunting Ascians. And now we're about to enter negotiations with the Emperor. Well, I don't suppose it's polite to keep an Emperor waiting too long, shall we? Parley with the Emperor? Yes. What's that chest spike for, dude?
Esteemed representatives of the Eorzean Alliance, on behalf of the Gallian Empire, I thank you for inviting me here today. As this parley was convened at your request, I invite you to speak first.
Very well, Your Radiance. I, Nanimo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, should be pleased to oblige you. As recent events in Alamigo and Doma have made plain, the subjugation and exploitation of neighboring nations is not a sustainable policy. Should this day end in war, you may very well defeat us, but you will never extinguish the people's desire for freedom. Though it may not be in our lifetime, there will be another revolution, another war, and the cycle will continue. Doma has entered into a concord with the nations of Eorzea, a partnership wherein we recognize one another as equals. Garlemald could be afforded similar treatment. You need only set aside your ambitions and join us in paving a path towards peace.
You will not win me over with sophistry, Your Grace. As you know only too well, this alliance lacks the strength to keep the peace within its own borders. Even now, your struggles with the Beastmen continue unabated. Divided, you sow this fertile soil with the seeds of your differences and reap naught but discord and chaos for your trouble. Eorzea must be united under one leader, one purpose. I would offer you both and bring an end to your strife.
With all due respect, Your Radiance, the only thing that you offered the people of Alamigo was fear and hopelessness.
The citizens of Doma can also attest to the meager arms of imperial rule. There is no purpose to be found in a life of oppression, each day more uncertain than the last.
Our people are willing to die for their freedom. A great many already have, and countless more will, if we don't put an end to this madness here and now.
We brought order and stability to your lives. This madness and bloodshed is of your own making. You broke the peace, not Garlemald.
Oh, you bastard.
Peace. Order. You kill our peoples, despoil our lands, take everything that is ours. And what? You expect us to lick the boot that grinds our faces into the dirt?
I expect you to weigh the costs, to recognize that countless lives have been lost on both sides in pursuit of a greater good, and to not squander all we have achieved in a fit of petulance.
Your Radiance. I fear I can personally attest to the dangers of pursuing one's vision with such righteous fervor. For 1,000 years, the Holy See of Ishgard waged war with dragons. 1,000 years of sacrifice, of sorrow and hate, in which we bathed in the blood of friend and foe alike. Had it gone on any longer, we may well have drowned. Yet we have chosen to raise ourselves out of this bloody spiral, and have since made peace with our former enemy.
So I understand. No doubt the dragons were more receptive to your overtures in the wake of their leader's demise. You speak of peace, yet use war to achieve it. Your father would not have bothered to obscure his intent with honeyed words. He understood that strength is all that matters in the end.
How dare you? I mean, he's trying to make people angry.
Without his clarity of vision, I can but wonder what will become of Ishgard and her people. There was a time when Garlemald, too, lacked a leader of conviction. Weak and unable to wield magic, we were at the mercy of the strong, from whom we sought refuge in the bitter cold of the north. Were it not for the discovery of ceruleum and the subsequent development of magitech, we might never have gained the power to take back that which was rightfully ours.
You speak as if your people were the first to have been driven from their homes. Limsa Lominsa was built by wayward souls in search of a place to call their own. On the shores of Vilbrand we found it, and from those humble beginnings did we grow and flourish. And all without robbing our neighbors of their liberty.
So saith the pirate. Am I to believe that you simply asked the kobolds to yield up their lands and that they were happy to oblige you? That you did not drive them out like rats in the hold of one of the many ships seized by your privateers?
I mean, he has a point there.
I will concede that after centuries of exile, reclamation may be mistaken for invasion. Nevertheless, it is not. And those who till stolen soil have no right to object when cast out in turn.
Your uncompromising nature rivals that of the Ixal. They too lament circumstances which they themselves perpetuate. Were they but to embrace peace, we would welcome them with open arms. Indeed, some few have done just that, and now receive of the 12's Wood's bounty. Would that your people might learn from their example.
You dare compare us to the Birdmen? You who thought to invoke the 12 and threaten all of creation? I came here in the hope of finding some speck of common ground, but I see now these discussions will accomplish nothing. Despite what you people may believe, I am not wont to choose the sword over the olive branch. 'Tis but a pity men are loath to accept one without first being shown the other.
Wait, I beg you.
This meeting was supposed to be a chance to find a way forward together, not to bemoan the missteps which brought us here. Please, if you truly consider violence a last resort, there must be a way we can come to an agreement.
Nice work, Alize.
As Mistress Alize says, we did not come here to bicker over the past, but to discuss how we might strive towards a brighter future. Emperor Varys, may I suggest a short recess, that all present might compose themselves prior to beginning anew?
Very well. I pray this intermission will suffice to move these talks in a more constructive direction.
That armor has got to be really inconvenient for, like, walking through doors. Hey, Alize. Phew, this is really not my forte. After his Radiance's little performance, it was all I could do not to swear at him. I honestly don't know how I ended up playing the mediator. I just asked myself what Elfino would have done, tried my best to do the same, and by some miracle it worked. But there really is no common ground to be found with that man, nor do I think he looked for any. So the question becomes, what did he come here to do? Because you may be certain it wasn't to make peace. Whatever it is, I can't make it out, not yet at least. We do have a little time before the parley is due to reconvene though, so why not try consulting our illustrious leaders? Mayhap they have some insight to share. Okay, Yen? This parley was never like to bring peace, but I had hoped to learn something of Emperor Varys' relationship with the Asians. As had we all. Yet, if he is in league with them, he is not like to volunteer the fact. And if he is not, how much weaker would his position seem for their presence? If we are to broach that particular subject, we will need to be subtle. Would that I knew more of the man. If you would indulge me, Lord Yen, you received an imperial education, did you not? Is it true that the Emperor's will is considered absolute? There is no higher authority in all of Garlemald, nor less in the heavens, come to that. Veneration of the gods is forbidden, the only worship permitted being that of his Radiance's own person. That sounds suspiciously like a religion in itself. I share your disdain for their hypocrisy. Even as they denigrate the idea of faith, they revere their leader with a fervor others reserve for the divine. It is a flaw common to much of the doctrine they fed us, logical on the surface perhaps, but contradictory upon closer examination. I wonder if a discussion of the various discrepancies might prompt Varys to reveal something. Nanimo? 12 have mercy. But for Lady Alize's timely interjection, we might well have come to blows at the negotiating table. Not that Emperor Varys left us a great many options. Is unconditional surrender all he will accept, do you think? Ere he arrived, I'd said yes. But having heard him speak, I cannot help but think he came with some other end in mind. Exactly. He's building up to something, I know it. How then should we approach the rest of the parley? Have you anything to say, Warrior of Light? Invite Varys to explain himself. You believe it is more apt to reveal the truth. He is more apt to reveal the truth if we put him at ease. Mayhap you are right. Thank you, Asuka. You're welcome. Rolib? I will say one thing for this Varys. He is well versed in Eorzean history. His interest in our affairs is that of a beast in its prey. The conqueror would know his enemies. All should know their enemies, yet there is much and more we do not know of the Empire. Then it's up to us to change that, here and now. Ha! You would have me ask the Emperor himself. Well, mayhap there is some wisdom in that. If we can skirt the storm of his displeasure, we may yet come to our answers, even if it does mean sailing close to the wind. Alice? You've spoken with everyone then? Good. Now all that remains is to await the pleasure of the Emperor. And I hope we fare better at the second attempt.
Now then, who would have the floor?
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affair surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat icons posed to the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the Baron said to have been laid waste by icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really waging this war?
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more. No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
That's a little 1940s.
What in Rulga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of this star, of the source and its 13 reflections. At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections. That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he wages war, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined. That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
A rejoining of worlds.
I have heard this tale of the source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
They are.
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Garlean Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
Yes. My grandsire, the former emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire? Would you condemn me for this alliance? For bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace?
Yes. I will stop you and the Ascians, no matter the cost.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence. Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard.
Nope. Can't let it
An
happen.
army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate.
That's basically what the Elf Pope wanted to do, and we see how well that worked out for him.
I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left.
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable, unconscionable.
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together, that we might take fate into our own hands.
Into your hands, perhaps. But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose them until we have been made whole once more.
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another. While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation. That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible. Such a man is not fit to govern.
Damn, Nano.
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
We can defeat the Ascians as we are. I've done it.
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
You Eorzeans never cease to disappoint me. Though I suppose I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion is at an end. I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It will not be at the negotiating table.
That didn't go so well. Hey, Lise. I came back to find Doma's advance party already ready and waiting for battle. So as worrying as our little chat with the Emperor was, it did buy us enough time for at least some of our allies to arrive. The face of war.
I'm not sure what I was expecting from our meeting with the Emperor, but it wasn't that. Still, at least we know now what he's really after.
Aye, a future built on a mountain of bodies. I too want the Ascians dead, but not at any cost.
The last of the reinforcements from Doma arrived not long ago. I pray it will be enough. Given the Emperor's stated goal, this is a battle we can ill afford to lose.
If the Garleans come in force, we may not have much say in the matter, even with our combined strength.
We knew from the first that the odds would be against us. But if there is even the slightest chance of victory, we must do everything in our power to seize it.
Agreed.
We must seize it, full stop.
Here!
The two of you are to join an irregular unit and support the main host. I won't bother asking if you're minded to fight.
Because we are.
After coming this far, how could I not? And for once, there's no one around to count on me. Not that they would. Not even my brother. But we all know who really make the difference. Ready to frighten some Garleans?
Oh yes.
I wouldn't want to be on their side.
Might I ask you to accompany the Dorman contingent? They are strangers here, and your presence would do much to raise their spirits.
Yeah.
We would be honored.
When our people stride out with you in their midst, I dare say the Eorzeans will feel an ilm taller themselves. High spirits have a way of spreading.
What I wouldn't give to join you. But my duties as field commander will not allow it. I'll leave the front lines in your capable hands. Comrades, ready your arms. The hour of battle has come. May the crystal guide us to victory!
Since the others couldn't be here, we'll have to fight twice as hard. If Alphinaud wakes to find the Imperials have won, I shall never hear the end of it. It's strange. I thought I would be terrified when the fighting started. I should be terrified. But with you at our side, I can't help feeling everything is going to be all right.
Alize, that sounds suspiciously like, what could possibly go wrong?
So please, don't you dare leave me alone. No matter what happens, we have to survive together.
Okay. Deal. Oh, let's do the fight. Oh, that's gonna be a long wait. All right, we'll pause for now. That was actually super fast. It said the wait time was gonna be over 30 minutes, but it only took like 5. Assuming this tank hurries up and... Oh, they didn't. Alright, pause again while we wait for another group. Alright, try again. See if everyone hits the ready button. Waiting on a healer this time. Yeah, there we go. We did it. The Gimlet Dark. Big ol' battlefield. Oh, someone is dressed like a giant Namazon. That is cute. I bet it's that person Chunky Chungo. Yep. It is. Hien and Yugiri are with us.
Leave this to me.
Looks like we've got a red mage, a sage, and a paladin. Red mage is fun to have because they can heal and raise people from the dead. Even though they're a damage class. So it comes in handy if things start to go wrong. Or the red mage can handle resurrecting people so the healer can keep on healing and not have to, you know, break their healing rotation to bring someone back to life. fighting our way through the trenches, like Final Fantasy World War I. Spread out so you don't put that purple ring on anyone else. Okay, so those spinny arrows mean that he's going to hit in a circle in the direction of the arrows, and you just keep moving to avoid being in the line of fire. That's gonna be near him. Oof. Guess it hits the whole arena. That's fine. Okay. Those arrows have switched directions. They're really helpful about the directional arrows too, because they're a different color regardless of, or depending on the direction. So you can, if you're having trouble seeing what direction the arrows are going, if you know which direction each color means, that can help you too. Stack markers, so we all help take a hit. He's done for. I don't know if I have any of those bracelets, but a cool leather bracelet is cool. Like those thick leather bracelets everyone wore in the early 2000s. Real big hole here. Don't need a ring.
Ready?
Oh. We have found Lise and Pippin. This dungeon is a little chaotic, but I think that's the point. Don't need earrings. Alright, second boss. Inside the circle. Okay, so he's dug under the ground. You see that big fire forming on the wall? That's where he's gonna come out. Looks like we were all able to avoid it. He'll dig under the ground again at some point. Relatively soon, so I don't want to waste a cooldown on my dance yet. Because with my luck, he would have started to dig underground when I was in the middle of the dance, and then my dance would have been for nothing. Now I can deal with it. Ooh. Those,
You underestimate me!
were for, me. I was able to roll neat. We got Emmerich and Kane Senna here.
Out of my way!
Something's there. Grab this as well. Grab that treasure while we have the chance. Everybody's got this under control. Oh, Hien is back, and Yugiri.
As one!
Everybody's here. Except Merlwib and Raubon. Target the enemy. There we go. He's having trouble targeting. Another one. Oh, Kane Senna has a big bubble for us to stand in. Protect us from this thing's attack. Self-detonate.
This day you die!
There we go. Going this way. Everybody ran off. I'm like, where'd they go? Oh, it's, the discount Livias. These savages bested our vanguard. Impressive. But in the end, they are only that. Savages. Now, let us be brief. His radiance awaits. They waited for me. How very nice of them. Okay, so first, you fight one at a time. Targeted something, which means get away from the group so that they don't get hit by whatever I'm about to get hit with. Ah. Sometimes those straight line attacks will follow you. So now, they're gonna do a thing where they like dash around. You just gotta stay out of the way of those lines, those thin little lines. They're reflecting off each other to do it. Okay, now we fight the other one. Deflect those sometimes you can use an area attack to get rid of things that would explode, like those tanks, but it didn't work this time. They're undeflectable. Now they're gonna do the dash around the arena thing again. But with the added bonus of having things that'll hit us. So once they're targetable again, I'm gonna hit them with the limit break. That should severely deplete their health. Probably kill at least one. There are certain times where it's just custom that, like, oh, a ranged or a magic person does a limit break here because it'll hit, you know, both people. Or this is a place for a tank to use it so that everyone doesn't die. Usually, though, it's let a melee attacker use the limit break because they do the most damage with theirs because it only affects a single target. But they ran away. Everyone already left, so I got trousers. All right.
There you are, and none the worse for wear.
Indeed. I had hoped we might do more to help, but there seems to be no one left to fight.
Yeah.
A tactical withdrawal, perhaps?
We should give chase. Finish them off while we have the chance. Imagine the other surprise when they wake to find the war already won.
No, don't do it.
The light will expunge all life. Only you can forestall the calamity.
Why now?
Throw wide the gates.
No! No! Not like...
Now, of all times.
Oh no, don't tell me. Are you all right?
Yeah?
Quickly, we must get her back to the encampment.
Rauban? So the Garleans have been routed, have they? Well done. Though this exchange was no more than a test of our strength, like as not, they will not be taking any chances now that the Emperor has joined the fray. They'll want to take their time, whittle down our defenses. Still, with your help and that of our eastern allies, we've passed the first test. Our line is unbroken. As for Alize, well, she's in good hands over at the infirmary. My lord, the chirurgeons have completed their examination of Mistress Alize, and it is as we feared. She is locked in a slumber without any outward cause. Just like the others. Damn it all. Aye, the Garleans picked a fine time to come knocking. 5 scions incapacitated, and with the enemy on our doorstep, I cannot spare the men to assist in the search for a cure. The best I can do is see to it that Alize is escorted safely back to the Rising Stones. Yugiri and I would return to our encampment. The main contingent of our forces from the Far East is under sail, and all must be made ready for their arrival. I'll not keep you then. Judging by the Garleans' recent movements, or lack thereof, they won't be launching another offensive in the immediate future. You should return to the Rising Stones. Given the plight of your fellow scions, I can understand if you feel on edge, but you'll be no good to anyone out without rest. True. Alright, go back to the Rising Stones. Hey, you're box art guy. This person has the troll mount. And they're tending bar? Hello, Hoary Boulder. Ah, Asuka, welcome home. Word has it that you and Mistress Alize gave the Garleans quite a thrashing. Speaking of whom, where is Mistress Alize? I was certain she would have returned by now. Yeah, about that. By the 12, not her too. Oka and I will ready the infirmary for her arrival. We will also need to send a message to Tataru post-haste. Would that I had something other than grim tidings to share with her. And with you too, for that matter. It grieves me to report that the Archon's condition remains unchanged. As we speak, Coltene, Kryl, and Master Matoya continue to explore every possible avenue. Alas, their efforts have yet to bear fruit. But all is not lost. You are still hale and whole after all, though I suspect you must be tired from your journey. You should rest, my friend. Leave the worrying to us for the time being, at least. Okay. Meanwhile, at the border of Alamigo. Hey. That's fake Xenos. And he's repaired his hat. Alright, that's where we'll end this video, and we'll pick up dealing with all of the Scions being asleep next time.